So before we start the session, I'll take this moment to play the WOFA video. As you might be knowing, that World Forum of Accountants has been getting organized in India by our current president. So we have a video for the WOFA event, which is organized in January this year. So I'll request January and end of January and first week of February. So I request our technical had to please play the video by the time our council general is walking in, and then we will start the session into the gift city.
Arthashastram, Dharmashastram cha, meaning economic principles, Arth, and ethical considerations, Dharma, which are central to the work of accountants. The entire world is deliberating about impact of climate change coupled with disruptions of artificial intelligence. India has given philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam to the world and successfully hosted G20 summit on this theme and also launched Global Biofuels Alliance. The accounting profession also has an enormous responsibility to guide the world, where accountability meets innovation so that vision can be converted into solution. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, being the world's largest accounting body, after the successful hosting of
Please, can you take the seats,
2022
Midway?
and
Please
Global,
close the door.
proudly presents before the World Forum of Accountants 2025. Where accountability meets innovation for a sustainable planet. The world's brightest minds will exchange insights, explore emerging trends, and unlock the possibilities for the profession. Where foundation will be laid to shape the vision for the future of accounting profession. Hosted at Yashobhoomi, the largest convention and exhibition center in the heart of India's capital, New Delhi, inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, is all set to host the congregation of accountants from around the world. And while you're here, experience the vibrant culture and heritage of New Delhi, a city where history meets modernity, offering unforgettable memories.
World Forum of Accountants, an experience of 3 days, insightful discussion, groundbreaking innovations, and unparalleled networking opportunities.
With immense pride, we invite you to WOFA 2025, taking place, happening from January 31st to February 2nd, 2025 at the magnificent Yashobhoomi, New Delhi. Experience 3 days of insightful discussions, groundbreaking innovations, and unparalleled networking opportunities. World Forum of Accountants 2025 is where you need to be, where accountability meets innovation, AI for a sustainable planet. Join us at WOFA 2025 from January 31st to February 2nd, 2025 at Yashobhoomi, New Delhi. For more details, visit wofa.icai.org.
All right. So good evening, everybody. A warm welcome to all our dignitaries, our chief guest of the day, His Excellency Satish Kumar Sivanji, Consul General of India to Dubai and Northern Emirates. Our keynote speaker today with us, Shri K. Rajaramanji. Our guest speaker, Dr. Dipesh Shahji with us, and all my seniors and fellow members. Today, we are diving into something new and intriguing that India has to offer to the world, the Gift City, India's first and only international financial services center. The full name is Gujarat International Financial Tech City, but we aptly shorten to GIFT. It is definitely a gift since it goes towards solving some of the issues which businesses face, such as reduced compliances, tax holidays, and many tax-related exemptions, easy access to global markets while being in India, eliminating hassles seen in traditional Indian setups, single window clearance, giving access to multinationals to apply international financial regulations, currency flexibility by eliminating restrictions on currency conversion, world-class infrastructure. So with all that, today's session is focused on what opportunities Gift City has to offer to CAs and other professionals in the Gift City when they open up into those locations. So with this mindset of India's Gift City to the world, we dive into today's session. Like before starting any great occasion which brings us together, let's take a moment to honor the nation that shape our identity, drive our purpose, and nurture our future. With hearts full of pride and gratitude, let's rise together and we pay tribute to the national anthems of India, our Janambhumi, and the UAE, our Karambhumi, followed by the ICI motto. So technical team, please play the videos.
य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्मिमाणः निर्मिमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनात्यपि कश्चन एतद्वैत 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 एतद्वैत.
Now you may please take the seats. Thank you very much. Now it's time to invite our chairman of the chapter, CA Rajesh Somani ji, to the stage for his chairman's address. So may I request everyone to please put your hands together to welcome our very enthusiastic visionary leader, CA Rajesh Somani ji, to the stage.
Very good evening to all of you. Very good evening. Good evening. Respected guest and chairman of ISCA, K. Raj Narayan ji, His Excellency Consul General of India, Satish ji, Dipesh ji from Gift City, Himanshu ji from Gift City, our past chairman, Pankaj, and other senior members, and my ex-com team members, and present all the invitees, including ICICI Bank's team and other sponsors. At very short notice, we could able to grab this opportunity today. In 2015 April, the Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi, has taken a very unique initiative in the country, and I would say it is not less than innovation for financial and global hub within the country, and trying to make India favorable for international players. And in very short span of time, they have already attracted more than 690 players in the Gift City. And I would like to share that this is a very unique concept which has been implemented by the Indian government, namely Gift City, where they want to make it is a financial hub of the international financial institutions, as well as other related industries of the finance. For example, they have already started leasing of the aircraft and vessels. In addition to that, now they have started attracting the backbone of the financial institutions and the financial sector, which is called accounting, compliances, etc. And the very purpose of today's conference is, today's event is to make aware our members, because a lot of you are involved in the practice of the auditing, accounting, providing support and compliances. And there cannot be a better place than India at present, because average age of Indian talent is, or population is around 35 years. And this is the largest talent pool in the world as far as accounting profession or financial or IT profession is considered. So you can get your work done with the highest, you can say, efficient talent pool of the world and with the most economical cost. This is the biggest advantage of the Gift City. More light will be thrown by the honorable speakers of the day, but I personally feel for our members or chartered accountants who are active in this market have a great opportunity to expand their back office as well as the leg office or extension of their work in the Gift City, where they can also provide their expertise in the international market to the player in the Gift City. So it is a big opportunity, need to encase, and we also need to support this initiative of the country so that Gift City really become international city of the world. Before I conclude, I would like to also request all of you that Institute of Chartered Accountant of India is organizing World Accounting Forum in Delhi on 31st January 2025, 1st and 2nd February. The registration are open. It's going to be the biggest event on AI and environment related accounting and financial issues. My request, we should take this opportunity to participate in the big number. Dubai is well connected with Delhi, and we always have a good reason to visit India apart from the profession. We would like to go with our own families, so that this is a big opportunity. And on 15th, we have organized another event which is based on learning from Satyam. As all of you know, the Satyam was almost Venice corporate, which was one time pearl of the stock market, pearl of the IT industry. And we are fortunate that credit to take this jewel again to the limelight goes to our own former president of the institute, Mr. T.N. Manoran, and who has written the book also on this particular journey from Satyam to Tech Mahindra. And he has been also recognized with the highest civilian award in the Padam Shri, and he will be the keynote speaker. Apart from that, we have also kept the session to make you update and learn about the complexity of the legal system. What is the legal framework in Dubai or UAE, as well as international for the international players. So the barrister from the senior most barrister from the UK will address on this subject, and senior most advocate working in this country since long in DIFC as well as on the normal courts will share the knowledge about how the legal system works in this country. It is first of kind, this type of the event we are organizing in chapter. I think it is good for our members to be aware about the legal system and prevailing practices, and also know ethics and governance, none other than from Mr. T.N. Manoran. So please participate and inform your other colleagues who have not come today or who are not able to join, but they should not miss this type of the event which provide you the professional input or professional awareness in a very rich manner. So thank you very much. And lastly, we have a annual international conference planned, as I mentioned earlier also in our earlier events, on 14th and 15th December. Please block your diary for participation in the big number. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening to learn about more about the Gift City and opportunity available in that part. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Saab. He needs a more louder round of applause, guys. Our chairman has been working tirelessly to ensure that he continues, like even for today's session, we have such senior dignitaries with us. And that short notice to arrange this event and make it happen, Chairman Saab, Vice Chairman Saab, all our executive committee is really, really dedicated to ensure we do well, we exceed always. So with that, I'll move to the next sessions. We are honored to have the presence of our chief guest, His Excellency Satish Kumar Sivanji, who is the Consul General of India to Dubai and Northern Emirates. We are deeply grateful for your presence here and look forward to your valuable insights. And to his formal introduction, please join me in welcoming our Vice Chairman, C.A. Jayaprakash Agrawal ji, with a big round of applause. The energetic Jayaprakash with you, please.
Good evening, ICI. I think the members are on the way and will be joining because of the traffic. They are on the way for sure. But still, all of us can make it on time. So good evening to all of you. It's always a privilege to stand here and introduce a distinguished leader, a seasoned diplomat, and ever smiling face, our own His Excellency Satish Kumar Sivanji, the Consul General of India to Dubai and Northern Emirates. Today, let me begin by quoting a famous diplomat who said that the more knowledgeable people are, the better the society and community will be. And today, this room is full of knowledgeable, distinguished speakers and equally knowledgeable members. Let me take a moment to acknowledge the presence of two distinguished individuals here with us today. Shri K. Rajaraman, Chairperson of the International Financial Services Center Authority. Give him a round of applause, sir. Thank you for coming to Dubai and attending this. Mr. Dipesh Shah, Executive Director of IFSCA. Your presence, sir, today is testament to the strong and growing ties between India and UAE, which is growing and will grow forever. In IFSCA, you are playing a pivotal role in enhancing India's position as a global financial hub. Through the establishment and regulations of International Financial Services Center in India, you have opened up new avenues for cross-border trade, investment, and financial services. This has attracted international players to India, contributing to the growth of the country's financial market and infrastructure. I will not be exaggerating when I say, under your guidance and leadership, like your sir, Mr. K. Rajaraman, we have become a cornerstone of India's economic ambition. When I say we, I mean India and the GIFT City. The impact of IFSCA is already being felt, and we can expect more transformative changes in the company in the coming years in India, like the one which is right now today we'll be having, where chartered accountants are given an opportunity to promote their skills, their expertise in GIFT City, which I loved about it. We are not talking about banks, we are not talking about investments, we are talking about bookkeeping, we are talking about accountancy, we are talking about taxation in GIFT City. That is what gives me a privilege. Now, coming back to my responsibility assigned to me of introducing our next guest, this is my privilege to introduce him for the 4th time as Consul General of India after he assumed his office on 9th October 2023. Sir, I cannot forget 9 October 2023. I tell you why. Because 9th October is my wife's birthday, and if I forget that, it will be a problem. So I cannot forget your office date. Our own His Excellency Satish Kumar Sivan, he has nearly 2 decades long diplomatic career, has navigated the corridors of international relations with precision and grace, representing India in diversified global settings. He has served in several important positions in the Ministry of External Affairs, New Delhi, including External Affairs Minister's Office and East Asia Division, where he played a key role in handling India's relation with China, Korea, and Mongolia. He has also served as India's Deputy Chief of Mission in Seoul and in various capacities at Indian missions in Beijing and Washington, D.C. as well. His expertise in international relations and developed partnership has been invaluable, particularly in his recent role as Joint Secretary overseeing India's grant in aids projects in neighboring countries, projects that focus on regional development, capacity building, and economic cooperation. His educational background is equally impressive. He holds a master's degree in commerce from the University of Madras, and apart from his fluency, and I am always flattered by this is the 4th time I always say, I am flattered by the command on languages, which is English, Hindi, Malayalam, Tamil, Kannada, and also Mandarin. So, sir, so many languages you know, it actually helps us to create the global relationship. The real impact of diplomacy, much like the work which IFSCA is doing, lies in building mutual understanding and trust. And Mr. Sivan, with his wealth of experience and linguistic skill, is certainly well equipped to make that happen. Let me conclude by saying that we are honored to have him as our Consul General of India in Dubai and Northern Emirates. His experience, leadership, and vision will no doubt enhance the already strong relationship between India and UAE. And I am confident that under his leadership, India's diplomatic presence in region will continue to flourish. So don't worry, I'm not exaggerating. It's something true for you. Can I have a round of applause for our Consul General of India, who is making us proud and tying us? Sir, I invite you on the stage with those words.
Thank you, Mr. Agarwal. You always embarrass me with those words. I think since you said that this is the 4th time that you are introducing, next time the Chartered Accountant members at least don't need this introduction. I think they know me too well now. So, Mr. K. Rajaraman, Sir, Chairman of IFSCA GIFT City, Mr. Rajesh Somani, Dr. Dipesh Shah, and all the distinguished members of the Institute. It's a privilege to be here with the members of the Chartered Accountants Institute. And I thank Mr. Rajesh Somani for putting this together. I know it has not been easy. It's short notice. And on a working day, evening with the traffic in Dubai, it's a challenge for the members. How much ever they want to be here. I myself was late. I can understand that people might be on their way. It is our good fortune that Chairman of IFSCA and his team are here in Dubai to outline the opportunities available in GIFT City for Indian businesses, fund managers, family offices, high net worth individuals and professionals. We were at a panel discussion yesterday, and somebody was commenting that it is very rare that a regulator is available and eager to address the concerns of stakeholders. The very fact that a unified regulator of Gift City is available amongst us is itself proof that Gift City means business, and betting on it is the right way forward. The visit of IFSCA delegation to Dubai is also extremely timely in my view. India-UAE partnership, economic partnership today is on a rapid upward trajectory fueled by the vision and guidance of our leadership. All of you gathered here today are privy to the fact that our two leaders share a very special relationship. There is close engagement, there is friendship, which has resulted in regular interactions between our leaders. If I can say, in the last 1.5 years, the two leaders have met 7 times. A Prime Minister of India was here in UAE 3 times, and the President of UAE was in India twice. What has that resulted in? It has resulted in the economic partnership growing closer together. We had the CEPA signed in the year 2022, as a result of which the trade increased from $69 billion to $85 billion last financial year. Of which the impressive fact is that the non-oil trade is about $56 billion. We all know that with UAE, oil can constitute a huge part, but out of this $85 billion, we have non-oil trade of $56 billion, which we target to increase to $100 billion by 2030. That shows the strength of the trade two ways and the part that UAE plays in our ambition to achieve $2 trillion of exports by 2030. Another aspect which is relevant to today's interaction is the investment scenario that exists between the two countries. While cumulative FDI from UAE to India is around $18 billion, the estimated cumulative investment from India to UAE is about $85 billion. I'm not surprised by this data, as every chamber in every emirate and every free zone in this country is dominated by Indian companies. For example, in Dubai chambers, we have 90,000 Indian companies which have been registered as of this August. Now, there is the opportunity for the income generated out of these investments to find its way back to Indian economy solely on the basis of the pull of the vibrant India story that is underway. Such an investment flow into India will be in sync with the trend of remittances from UAE into India. Today, UAE stands as one of the biggest source of remittances into our country, contributing $22 billion or 18% of the 120 billion US dollars remittances received by India last year. This trend is expected to increase, and UAE share in remittances into India is expected to grow to $25 billion this calendar year. As you would see soon in the remarks by Chairman and Dr. Shah, India's booming economy offers a unique opportunity for investors, especially from UAE, to derive value by targeting multivarious sectors for investments. Gift City presents opportunities under several verticals and has a competitive tax regime unmatched by any territory in the world. It is never too late, as India's story is just getting started to be scripted, and it is right time to be a part of history in the making. I would therefore urge all participants here today to keep India and Gift City in their business calculations going forward. I once again thank ICAI, Dubai chapter, and especially Mr. Somani for coordinating this interaction today, and thank Chairman of IFSCA and the entire team for being present here and presenting the new face of India, which is welcoming and embraces global investors and businesses and as partners in our march to achieve Viksit Bharat. I wish you a wonderful evening of interactions. Thank you and Jai Hind.
How how can we let the consulate Joe without thanking him on behalf of all of us as members? So I'd like to request Chairman, Vice Chairman to please join on the stage. And Pankaj, you please join on the stage also to present a memento on behalf of all of us as members. All right, now it's time to raise the curtain and invite our keynote speaker of the day, who is the chairperson of the Gift City, and who is none other than Shri K. Rajaramanji. Thank you very much, sir, for joining. Who has a long stint of over 35 years serving in the government of India and now taken this very responsible position to lead from the front. Before we invite our keynote speaker to the stage to embark on what promises to be a thought-provoking session, highlighting the transformating possibilities that Gift City offers to chartered accountants and to the world. Let us invite, with a big round of applause, our treasurer, CA Dheeraj Ranasaria, to the stage for a formal introduction of K. Rajaramanji, and then we'll hear it from him. So give him a big round of applause to our treasurer. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, dear members. In last two, we are listening to one name, IFSCA, correct? Maybe we know when this authority was formed. Yeah, it's very recently in 2020. See, since 2020, under the leadership of Mr. K. Rajaraman, IFSCA signed MOA with Monetary Authority of Singapore to strengthen cooperation in financial service between India and Singapore, and also launch a lot of financial products to benefit of businessmen and professionals. This required very round of applause for him. About his introductions, Shri K. Rajaraman belongs to the 1989 batch of Indian Administrative Services, Tamil Nadu, and has assumed the responsibility of chairperson of International Financial Services Center Authority after serving for nearly 35 years in various leadership roles in Government of India and Government of Tamil Nadu. Prior to joining the IFSCA, he served as a secretary to Government of India in Department of Telecommunications. He is a BTech graduate in Electronics and Communications and first class MBA and Master of Economics. So, please welcome with me on the stage Mr. K. Rajaraman.
So, good evening to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. So, first of all, I wish to thank Mr. Rajesh Somani for having organized this meeting with some of the key players and the members of the ICAI. And I also thank the CGI, Mr. Satish Sivan, for having coordinated this exercise. So we are here for our last 4 days in the Middle East area to meet with key financial institutions and the other stakeholders like your institution to actually tell them about the latest developments in India and also share the potential of the India growth story. So let me very briefly tell you about the India growth story. Before that, let me also say that, as Mr. Sivan said, the India-UAE relationship has actually scaled up over the last several decades. The last few years have seen very significant movement forward because of the signing of very important agreements. The CEPA, which promises to actually raise the pitch in the trade and commerce and investment between both the countries. So UAE has been very strategically important for India because of the large diaspora which lives here. So I will say that both the countries offer something very unique to themselves, and there is a great opportunity to actually use the strengths to mutual advantage. While India is very strong in human resources, I think the talent that we export all over the world is actually our biggest strength. along with many other things like technology, manufacture products, services, and so on and so forth. Similarly, the UAE is also very strong in energy and in terms of wealth. I think the capital that is available here, the surplus capital that is available here for deployment, as investment in the rest of the world. So putting these two together can actually create a strong growth center, I think, in this region. And that has been the vision of both the leaders, I think the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, and His Highness, the President of the United Arab Emirates. So the progress has been remarkable, and we believe that there is a great opportunity to aid and assist this process of the growth of trade and commerce. So the India opportunity is something which most of you must be knowing, because you're all people from India and you must be tracking the Indian economy very significantly, though you are involved in businesses and in various enterprises in the Middle East. The India growth story has been quite inspiring for the last several years because of the fact that it has been growing at around 8%. But what you see as growth is basically the outcome of a lot of very important reforms that have happened over the last decades, and especially the last decade. So if I may unpack it for you, I think the flexible inflation targeting regime, which was introduced in 2014, is a very important piece of reform, which actually has enabled inflation to stay under control in a very large country like India, which is susceptible to food inflation, energy inflation, and so on and so forth. So tracking the inflation between 4 and plus or minus 2% has been a mandate which the government has given to the RBI, and that has been done very effectively. So that has been one of the reasons why foreign investors continue to be very confident about India, because you can keep on pouring billions of dollars into an economy, but if the value turns to dust because of skyrocketing inflation, then obviously I think the foreign investor confidence will evaporate in no time, I think. So this is no brainer. I think everybody understands this. So this has been managed very well. On top of that, I think let me also say that I think the proof of the pudding is in the eating. A lot of reforms have been done. The foreign investor confidence has remained strong. It's about $70 billion being the gross FDI inflow into the country last year and year before last as well. So if you look at last year, I think the inflow was about $70 billion. The outflow was about $44 billion, which was the disinvestment and the exits made by foreign investors who had invested several years back. So let me also say that people who invest in India also see returns. Landmark exits have been made very large exits have been made in very important sectors by many of the foreign investors. So this is a very important thing. It's not enough that a country offers opportunity to invest, but you should also be able to liquidate it and take it out at the appropriate time. So this is a very, very positive development. Indians also invested about $15 billion last year as part of the overseas direct investment by various corporates. We have a very young population, a strong democracy, actually which inspires confidence, strong institutions like parliament, media, judiciary, financial sector regulators, the other sectoral regulators like Election Commission of India, and so on and so forth. The reform agenda, which the Honorable Prime Minister and the Government of India have actually unpacked over the last several years, have actually been one of the reasons why the growth has been 8% plus, because the disinvestment reforms, by enabling the government to get out of many of the sectors that the government should not be, like the landmark deal relating to Air India and many other kind of enterprises from which I think the government is trying to get out, so that I think the efficiency in government spending comes up significantly. Financial sector reform, including cleaning up the banks, insurance companies, capital market reforms have been effected. So in 2014, there used to be 20 million people with trading accounts in the stock markets, retail demat accounts. Today, we have 150 million trading accounts, I think, in India. I think the unique accounts must be around 95 million people. So the fourfold or fivefold increase in the number of people trading the stock markets is also a proof that of the quality of digital infrastructure, the trust and confidence of the retail investors in the stock markets, and the regulation that obtains in the stock markets. Similarly, I think the most important reform, I would say, is the financial inclusion reform, because you can talk about the top of the pyramid reforms, where the better off keep getting better, But the bottom of the pyramid is very, very important, and a government that actually takes care of the bottom of the pyramid by ensuring social inclusion, financial inclusion, ensures that the overall economic development actually happens within the country. So in the last 7 years, the government has actually opened 540 million bank accounts for people without bank accounts. They were historically not connected to the formal financial ecosystem. Today, the amount of money that is there in that 540 million accounts is about $30 billion. I think it's not a small sum of money, and it's just the beginning. So these people are now using these bank accounts for making payments to start with, I think. Soon, I think many of them have actually started connected to the formal banking system for credit. They are receiving loans under the Mudra scheme. They are receiving loans under the various special schemes, including one for street vendors and many, many other schemes. So the self-help groups are receiving credit assistance for their rural enterprises. So all this has actually kick-started a development process within the bottom of the pyramid, as a consequence of which I think you will see many of them participating in the formal financial. So many of them in future will start trading the markets. They will start insuring and pensioning themselves. So what I will say is that the size of the formal financial sector is going to expand multifold over the next 10 to 25 years. And that will see the maximum impact on the economy. That will cost the maximum impact in the economy. One other focus of the government has been the ease of doing business, because this is a very complicated area, because we have a very complicated legal architecture which has been imposed on us maybe 150, 200 years back. I used to be the secretary in the Department of Telecommunications till last year, and we had a law called the Indian Telegraph Act of 1885, which was left behind by the British when they left India in 1947. So it all talks about wired telecommunications. There's no word called spectrum in that. And we were merely auctioning spectrum worth billions of dollars without any legislative sanction till last year. So for the first time, the government has realized that actually re-architecting the legal frameworks in India is absolutely important for business to go forward and do and develop the kind of confidence to put 10 times the amount of money which they're currently putting out. So in the Ministry of Telecom, in the Communication, the Department of Telecom, I think last year, I think I had the job of drafting this act, and the Parliament and the government actually introduced the bill in Parliament, and the Parliament enacted it last year. So we have a new Telecom Act of 2023, which is actually guiding it's a forward-looking act, completely modern, and it actually looks forward to the next 50 to 100 years in actually developing digital infrastructure in the country. So every sector, every ministry is actually on the task of actually rewriting some of the laws. 1,550 laws, outdated and obsolete, have been scrapped, and many unnecessary compliances are being removed. So this is all work in progress. So last 3-4 years, I've seen very feverish activity. You'll see that going forward in the next 3 to 4 years. And this year, the Honorable Finance Minister has announced a complete revamp of the tax laws, the Income Tax Act and the GST Law Act. I think the expression of interest for public consultation, that is, the government Ministry of Finance has put out an advertisement seeking comments from the public on the revamp of the Income Tax Act. I'm sure that many of you who are actually tax professionals should actually give inputs on how India should reform the tax laws to make it much more business friendly, because tax is very foundational, right? If tax law is not welcoming and positive, it is very difficult for somebody to do business. So, while all that is being done, the focus of the government has actually turned to 2047, because the Honorable Prime Minister believes that the next 25 years can be very important for the country, because while India stays young, I think it's very important to grow rich. Because sometimes I think some countries become old before growing rich, things, and that becomes a problem. Then I think you have a social security problem at hand without a bank balance. So that is something we must strictly avoid, and therefore the government has understood this opportunity that India must grow rich while the demographic dividend is actually supportive when we are still young. So this requires a number of things to do. I think we need to continue to implement the pace of reforms, which I think will continue to be deepened, which includes financial inclusion 2.0, ease of doing 2.0, doing business 2.0, and so on and so forth. Infrastructure investments have to be scaled up. Manufacturing, the contribution to GDP has to go up, and talent and technology focus must actually intensify. And of course, we must seize the opportunity on net zero transition, which has been announced by 2070 for India. So all this, if it is done in the proper manner, I think then obviously we have the potential to grow at about 7% plus and become the second largest economy by 2047. At this rate, anyway, I think we will become the third largest economy by 2030. But the ability to become the second largest economy and actually to make it a strong, sustainable economy will require a lot of things to be done. And many of these things are work in progress by various ministries. So if you look at the net zero agenda by 2070, this is a very important agenda because there's a great opportunity here for green energy, for green technology to be developed within the country, and also to create green jobs, which are more sustainable than the current kind of jobs that we continue to create. So it's a very challenging task. I think the government announced 500 gigawatt of renewable energy by 2030, and we've already commissioned about 200 gigawatt as we speak, and about 300 gigawatt is under various stages of commissioning. So the government has also implemented a production-linked incentive scheme for solar manufacturing. India is already a large manufacturer of wind energy. We have an annual installed capacity of 15 gigawatt. So the opportunity here lies in solar energy manufacturing, hydrogen technology manufacturing, and so on and so forth. And we will see a lot of these new tech manufacturing coming up in India in a big way over the next few years. If you look at the infrastructure plans, every ministry has now looked at how capacity improvement has to happen in various sectors: railways, ports, gas pipelines, aviation, and the airports, and so on and so forth. So you will see a lot of these capacities expanded through additional investments in the infrastructure sector. And we'll see this, we did a rough calculation in 2019. We will require at least about $4.5 to $5 trillion in the next 20 years, which means the going rate has to be at least about $200 to $250 billion every year in the infrastructure sector. So if you look at the talent and technology focus, we are a very strong country in talent. I think there are about 1,800 companies in the world, all the multinationals of the world, which have got global capability centers in India. You have the Intels and the Samsungs which design chipsets in India. You have Pfizer's and many advanced pharmaceutical companies designing molecules in India. There are top-notch world companies including Mercedes-Benz, BMW, etc., which have their auto R&D facilities in India. So all the top companies have their backend in India. The patents get filed out of India. But it's just that we have not started manufacturing and owning IPs out of India. That is simply the short point. So that is the technology focus that is coming up. Let me give you an example again from the telecom sector about which I am more familiar with. So the government in 2019, after the geopolitical issue which happened in the northern borders, decided that I think we cannot continue to buy telecom equipment from outside the country, forever. So for 2G, 3G, and even in 4G, I think we continue to be passive purchasers of foreign technology from all kinds of people, So the government decided that I think we now have to create the technology within the country. So in 2021, I think the government issued a challenge to our local industry, and after this expression of interest, I think one consortium came up, the TCS consortium, along with Tejas Networks and CDOT, which is a government lab, to create India's own 4G stack. And let me tell you, I think in the last 2 years, I think BSNL has now almost installed about 40,000 towers, 4G towers of India manufacturing, completely patent owned by Indians, and you will see 100,000 4G base stations installed by March of next year. So these companies, both TCS and Tejas have also, and CDOT have also developed 5G technologies. There are half a dozen other companies also which have developed a 5G stack. So if you look at Reliance is now has its own company which has acquired an international company called Radisys. They now manufacture 5G base stations of their own design. So the new India is now focusing on how to build technology out of India, not become a passive consumer of technology. You will see this happening in sector after sector going forward, and the government is investing very heavily in R&D. For instance, in telecom, every year we are providing about 500 crores of support to the private industry, domestic industry, to actually develop technology. The technology startups that we have in India are a bright spot in the horizon, and you will see a lot of the technology manufacturing happening out of India. The reform agenda therefore continues. This year, the Honorable Finance Minister announced a comprehensive review of the Income Tax Act, GST Act, customs duty tariffs. We have an angel tax which has been abolished. The corporate tax on foreign companies has been reduced from 40 to 35%. FDI regulation simplification is an ongoing task. About 95% of our FDI regulations are simplified already. In fact, it's on the automatic approval route. But the remaining 5% is also up for review. The finance minister has announced $130 billion for capital infrastructure investments this year, and taxonomy for climate finance. So a lot more other reforms have been announced. So let me tell you that while all this is being done, one of the important tools of the reform agenda has been to create a enabling environment for foreign investors. So today investors can invest in 3 ways. I think they can come direct. They can sit. You can from Dubai wire transfer some of money into India and then invest into a company through an FPI portfolio investment company, or take an FDI stake in one of the companies in India. That many of you are doing. I think I'm sure that many of your companies are doing. The other possibility is that set up an operation in India, bring in foreign investment, set up operations in India, do manufacturing. That is a possibility. We have introduced a third possibility where it's a hybrid of both. You have a platform called Gift City where the International Financial Center offers you the flexibility of a foreign destination by carving out several laws from the Indian constitutional framework, and also offering the Indian costs of operation, I think. So we have the low HR costs of being within India, the low real estate costs, the low costs of living, etc., along with the flexibility of being within foreign. I'm sure that my colleague, Dr. Dipesh Shah, will unpack a lot of that for you. So the idea is to create a platform which will actually inspire foreign investors to come back. So the many Indian firms like the funds and alternate investment funds, ship lessors, aircraft lessors have all set up shop outside the country because of their difficulty in taxation, in regulation, laws, etc. So we have solved all the problems significantly, though I wouldn't say that we have an answer to every question. But most of the important problems that are to be solved have been solved, and the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Today we have more than about 180 alternate investment funds who have actually set up in Gift City. 15 of them have actually relocated from many of these jurisdictions, which are probably, we can call them tax havens. So, and many of the many ship lessors, large ship lessors have actually set up operations there, and we are going to see that scale up. Aircraft lessors have set up shop. There are many other things which Dr. Dipesh will outline to you. So the short point I will tell you is that the government of India is very keen to enhance the ease of doing business for all kinds of investors. I think so. Every investor has got a business model. Somebody wants to come and do a pure India business, we welcome you to land in Mumbai and start the business. It could be a little difficult. Reform is already on the way, and I think you will see things getting better and better as the time passes by. But there are many businessmen who want to have a global business agenda, but also sit within India. And that's where I think Gift City comes in. I think you want to play the global markets. You also want to play the Indian market. Then I think Gift City is the place. I think because that offers you the freedom, flexibility, no capital account conversion approvals required. I think profits can be repatriated freely and all that stuff. I think so. There are a variety of advantages that you can enjoy. So I will only say that welcome to Gift City and welcome to the International Financial Center. We are an agile regulator. I think we'll call ourselves a regulatory startup or a startup regulator. I think you can call them whatever you want to. And we always have an ear to the ground to understand what is happening in the rest of the world. I think, and that's what brought us here, to exchange notes with many of the regulators here and understand what we can do together. So we look forward to very active interchange between the UAE business community and the Indian industrial and investment ecosystem, and look forward to playing the synergy angle very effectively using all the instruments that have been approved by our leaders. So I'll stop here and welcome you to visit Gift City at any point of time. Jai Hind.
Can we have a big round of applause for Raja Ramanji? Thank you, sir, for taking time out and sharing the story of India and sharing the things which Gift City has to offer to the world. Thank you so much. So I'd like to request our chairman, vice chairman to please join along with the treasurer to present a memento on behalf of all of us. And Mr. Putran, sir, please, if you can also join on the stage for presenting a memento on behalf of all of us as members. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, what an insightful start to our session. But the journey into understanding Gift City doesn't stop here. In fact, it's about to get even more intriguing. Now we turn to someone who has been instrumental in shaping and operationalizing India's first smart city and international financial services center, Dr. Dipesh Shah, the executive director of Gift City. To set the stage and to introduce our next speaker, who has been instrumental in driving the vision forward, let's invite our ExCom member CA Ashna Mulgaonkar to the podium for his formal introduction. Please give her a big round of applause as Ashna walks to the stage.
Good evening. Two terms, Gift City and Chartered Accountants. What can you paint as a picture here? Imagine Gift City as the financial playground for chartered accountants, complete with all the bells and whistles of a modern metropolis designed for international finance. Chartered accountants often are considered as financial detectives or profit doctors. What have they found in Gift City is a new adventure park when they can unlock the new puzzles in trade facilitation, global compliance, and cross-border transactions, from advising international investors to navigating nuanced regulatory frameworks. They get to showcase their skills in a way which would not have possible anywhere else in the world. It's like a playground which is built just for them, where financial rules becomes opportunities for growth and audits feel like the start of a new journey. Pankaj ji is smiling there. We have amongst us today Mr. Dipesh Shah. He is an executive director of IFSCA. He has over 23 years of experience in international business, project development, corporate affairs, corporate law, and policy matters. His very prominent achievement is setting up and operationalizing India's first smart city and international financial services center. He has been associated with the development of Gift City since its inception. In his last 15 years tenure at Gift City has made substantial progress in getting a recognition as India's model smart city. Besides many degree and accolades, he is also having a doctorate in International Financial Services Center. Without much time, let us put our hands together for Mr. Dipesh Shah.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for the introduction and the type of the vibrancy that this room has, because when you were introducing and giving the opening comments, you summarized my entire presentation. So actually I can little bit easy on my presentation because you already have, you understand what the IFFC and what the Gift City is trying to offer. But we have a very close association with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India as an international financial center authority. And if you really ask me, and not because I'm saying that we are here and that's the reason why we are saying, but the most entrepreneur professionals which would love problems to give solutions. So if you give them problems, they will come with the solutions. And sometimes they will create problems and they will give solutions. So I like their spirit, and we are thrilled that this community is part of the IFFC ecosystem. A couple of my friends are chartered accountants, and I always tease them and I always ask them, how come you guys are so entrepreneur? And I don't see this entrepreneurship in other professionals. And he said that we are so much entrepreneur that one of our member during the interview was gone with a full preparation that today the interview panel is going to ask them about the importance of accountants. And the interview panel asked them the importance of investment. Now, the chartered accountant sitting there, he said that all investments, and he described in one line, he said all investments are good or bad, provided it is properly accounted. And then he wrote the whole story of accountants to the panel. So this is how they are so well prepared that any problem comes to their way, they solve in the way that they find the right solution. And we are very thrilled that this institution is supporting IFFC. we were posed a similar problem, and the vision was given by the Honorable Prime Minister when he tossed this terminology of we want India to be accountants of the world. Now, as all of you are aware that India is already pharmacy of the world, he has tossed this terminology that how can we be accountants of the world. And this terminology, if you really unfold from that perspective, has many, many connotations included in that. When we try to solve this as a problem, as to how the accountants can be fit into the GIFT City or in the International Financial Services Center, we again faced a similar challenge which I just described, our chartered accountant friend faced in an interview. We are an International Financial Services Center, so first question asked to us was, you can only regulate financial services, financial products and financial institution. Accountants, to our surprise, the accounting definition does not figure across any of the global definitions in financial services. Now, this was a challenge that we faced as to how do we regulate or probably come out with a regulation on an accounting when this particular services, which is so much critically associated with the financial products and services, is not actually defined anywhere as a financial services. And we were also went through the several reports, including the economic forums, several other world services, regulations and all, but nowhere accounting was described as financial services. So we wrote to the government, just like what I said our chartered accountant friend did. We also wrote to the government that in order that a financial services can be delivered, it cannot be delivered if it is properly accounted, if there is a proper bookkeeping and there is a taxation involved. Without that, a financial statement cannot be prepared. And that's why this is an integrated part of financial services, and Government of India should declare this as a financial services, at least for the International Financial Services Center zone. And I am happy to tell you, friends, in the entire South Asian region, you pick up any regulator, nobody has defined accounting, bookkeeping, taxation and financial crime as a financial services. But IFFC has defined this for you. And this is the reason why we are here, and I thank Rajeshji for being one of the guiding force in many of our problems. In fact, he's on our committee on ship leasing and several other commodity committee, and guiding the IFFC authority on several occasions. So when we spoke to him, and I think when we were here coming for short notice, he said this will be a good outcome for our members to understand as to what the GIFT City can offer. So this presentation probably covers both aspects. One, in the GIFT City, what you and your clients can do, and two, as a chartered accountant yourself, in the bookkeeping, accounting, taxation and financial crime compliance, what you can do sitting in Dubai, sitting in GIFT, how you can expand into new avenues through GIFT City. So with this, I will cover briefly about what the GIFT City has to offer and how it can be important for all of you. I'm sure you are aware of the location of GIFT City, but for some of you, this is in the western side of India, in the closer to the capital of Gujarat, Gandhinagar, and the Ahmedabad, which is the business capital. So this GIFT City is right in between the Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar. And between these two cities, almost 9.5 million population is present. So you can imagine the vibrancy of two cities between which this GIFT City as India's first smart city and an international financial services center is coming up. Many people ask us that why GIFT in Gujarat and why not anywhere else? And this is always a question, in the initial days which used to come to us. And we simply answer that because we had a visionary leader of the state of Gujarat when the GIFT City got born in terms of his visit to Singapore. He went to Singapore, he met many of the professionals from this field of financial services, in fact many chartered accountants in Singapore. Out of 15 people that he told us, at least 12 people were from India, and out of 12, 10 were Gujaratis. So he asked them, what you are doing in Singapore? They said, sir, we all do India business sitting in Singapore. his answer, his question to them was, why you have to be Singapore to do India business? Why can't you be in India to do India business? And they said, sir, two reasons why all of us have been exported outside is because of Foreign Exchange Management Act, what we popularly call as FEMA, and tax. These are the two reasons why most of the business and jobs have all been exported outside India. When he came back, he raised this problem statement to a smaller team, and I was fortunate to be part of that initial founding team of 8 members, that he posed this problem statement saying that what can be done, and I repeat, his problem statement was what can be done for India. He never said Gujarat, what can be done for Gujarat. He always said what can be done for India, can we do something which can solve this problem. And that's how the GIFT City got born as a concept, as to how do we resolve this issue of exporting our businesses and jobs outside and actually retain them in India and make this more productive for Indian economy rather than giving away our talent to the global economy where they are contributing right now. With this problem statement, the GIFT City whole idea went into developing 2 zones in one integrated format, which is to make the smart city as India's first international financial services center, and also it has a domestic zone. So you have a 2 zone when you come to GIFT City. One is similar to any other zone in India. Another is an international financial services center, which the chairman mentioned is the only international financial services center notified by Government of India as an offshore location outside of FEMA. So this was a major problem statement which was solved through a regulation that Foreign Exchange Law of India, RBI law, says that when you set up in GIFT International Financial Services Center, you are outside India. So the domestic FEMA law does not apply to an IFFC unit, and the IFFC unit is declared as a non-resident under the Foreign Exchange Laws of India. So one problem statement because of the FEMA where people were going out was resolved. The second was on the tax, and the tax was given to us by the very competitive tax regime. I'm sure, I know that I can't speak competitive tax regime in front of people in Dubai because you are used to the free tax forever, and I'm told that even you are facing some difficulty of tax now in this zone where you are being also given 8-9 some percentage of tax coming into the zone. But obviously DIFC and ADGM and all will remain as a tax free for many years. So GIFT, we have been given a tax regime which is out of 15 years, 10 years, no tax on the business profits that you earn. So when you open your company in GIFT, there is no tax on the business income that you earn in GIFT. So with these 2 contexts, let me start as to what all you can do in GIFT and how it is different. As Chairman mentioned rightly that this is new India and this is new opportunity. I was very impressed with the Consulate General of India in Dubai. The way he described this opportunity, and he picked up that India is probably an economy to look at. And he said that for India, you should also look at how can you soft land into GIFT to invest into India. I think this is what probably many of you want. You want a soft landing rather than a very hard landing where the regulations takes over and your business is all over the place. So probably GIFT answers that puzzle to you that look, India is difficult. India is an opportunity, but regulations, laws are difficult. But believe me friends, this is new India, and this is how it has been delivered on ground at GIFT City. This slide explains you as to how the new India is different from the rest of the domestic zone for financial services. Under the FEMA, I said you are non-resident. In the currency, you can deal with any 15 convertible foreign currency, including AED. So you can actually set up a company in GIFT. It can be an AED denominated currency transactions that you do, and you completely saw Dubai sitting in GIFT. There will be no tax on your transactions. You deal in the same currency which you are used to, and at probably a talent which is available in Indian ecosystem at a very nominal cost. I was told when we were with one of the bank today morning that the cost of transferring the right talent from India to this place is almost 40%. That you have to pay for so many things, so almost 40% reduction only for not transferring the India talent into Dubai, and you can actually serve from GIFT City. So this all advantage, all put together, I think probably GIFT can answer some of your problems that you are facing. The tax holiday I already mentioned, and as far as the law is concerned, GIFT is India. So all the treaty that India has signed with several countries across the globe, the same treaty is also applicable to GIFT. So there is already a treaty signed with the double tax avoidance treaties which India has signed is applicable to GIFT also. And that's why being within law in India is also an advantage for us. But they have also, government has also given us several carve-outs. Like in the Companies Act, many provisions of the Indian Companies Act don't apply when you operate from GIFT City, where all your operating burdens have been reduced. And as far as the regulators are concerned, probably this is the most important, that Mr. Rajaraman, who just spoke, is the International Financial Services Center Authority's unified regulator, which is combining the powers of RBI, SEBI, IRDA and PFRDA. So for many of you, this could be a news that now India has two systems. One, when you land into India, there is a domestic zone there where there are 4 domestic regulators. You land into GIFT, there is only one single unified regulator. And you have to deal with only that single unified regulator. You don't have to comply with all other domestic requirements of the domestic regulations, which is probably answering, as I said, some of the problems that you were facing earlier. How as a regulator we can make things better? Because I think for a regulator, regulations are the foundation pillar on which the whole authority is standing. So if you remove regulations, the authority has no role to play. And for making the regulation, I think what we did was our approach was made more principle. As to what is our principle? Whom are we serving? So our principle is that we are more meant for doing international business. We are not meant to do domestic India rupee business. So out of 15 currency that you saw, the only currency which is not allowed when you are in GIFT to do business is Indian rupee. You can't, sitting in GIFT, do a business billing of Indian rupees to a client in Ahmedabad, Bombay, Delhi. That is not allowed. So many times our chartered accountant friends tells us that I have a business in Bombay, I'll shift it to GIFT and I will have a tax holiday. And we say, no, that is not allowed because that's a domestic India rupee business which you should do from the domestic zone. But you want to do, say for example, Dubai business sitting in GIFT, or Singapore business sitting in GIFT, or Mauritius business, all can be in GIFT. And you can serve the overseas market. Or you want to do India dollar business, you can be in GIFT. So we'll see as to what all businesses you can do, but the regulation, as I said, approach is very clear that our regulations are benchmarked with the international best practice. These regulations are not cut, copy, paste of domestic regulations. In fact, you will, when you read them, you will find similar regulations in DIFC, ADGM, or probably MAS Singapore. So this has a benchmarking with the international regulators. I'm sure this is probably the slide which you will remember, after few days if we ask in the presentation, what did you remember? Probably this is the only slide you will remember. That is the tax exemption out of 10 years, no tax on the business profits, no GST, no commodity transaction tax, no security transactions tax when you deal on the securities listed on the IFFC exchanges. So there is no taxes, no withholding tax for the loans which are done through GIFT City, and reduced withholding of 9% when you are listing your bonds in GIFT, and also lot of tax treaty benefits which are available. As I said, double tax avoidance treaty benefits are available here, but the advantage is you, in say for example you are operating from Singapore, you have to take treaty benefits and make certain assumptions, whereas in GIFT the tax law itself is hard coded in the Indian Income Tax Act. So the tax benefits of GIFT is much more tax certain, and there are less issues of substance or later on raising issues of tax by the authorities, because these are hard coded under the Indian Income Tax Act. And the IT enabled policy of the government of Gujarat, to the probably knowledge of all of you, this is one of the best incentive policy issued by any state government. So if you come to GIFT, and I'm giving an example, say you have 1,000 people for outsourcing in GIFT, and you are doing a BFSI, the accounting, bookkeeping, or if you are doing this Global Capability Center licensed as a activity by IFFCA, the state government reimburse entire provident fund that you pay to your employees for 5 years, and that is almost 12%. And for female employees 100%, for male employees 75%, and this is without any cap. So you can imagine 1,000 people you are paying salary, 12% of that of a provident fund is reimbursed by the state government to you. And apart from that, there are several incentives. I'm just giving one only a highlight, but even there are no electricity duty, there are there are rental exemptions, subsidies, and there are capital investment subsidies all available under this policy. So you should also examine this policy. For us, I think the guiding principle, or probably the guiding leader, has been the Honorable Prime Minister of India, who made a very visionary statement way back in 2007-8 when he was creating GIFT City. He said, I want to create GIFT City as an answer to the problem statement which we just described, that we should have India talent, or the India business, India international business should be sitting in India. It should not go out. I think that problem statement has today led us to where we are, of trying to intervene in all the services to remain the business and talent in India, including his vision of calling this as a GIFT City. I'm sure some of you are aware. That how the GIFT City was named, but some of you should understand how visionary he is even in naming this type of a project. When we were naming this project, everybody wrote down some good names, in order of preference, that Honorable Chief Minister would like this. He comes in the room and he says that I will call this GIFT. You please figure out full form. And that's how the GIFT City name, started. So probably the only company in the world where the short form came first and the long form was discovered later on. So we said Gujarat International Finance, and everybody struggled with T. And he said, and this was in 2008, he's saying that in future finance will not be able to operate without technology. So fintech, which we call today, is in 2008 he tossed up, and that is how the GIFT City was born and started operating as a gift project. I think this is important for your clients and for all of you as to what all you can do. And this slide actually highlights each businesses that you can do in GIFT. And in the bracket, you can see number of firms operating in GIFT City. So if your client is from banks, is from insurance, is an asset management, is a finance company, aircraft leasing, ship leasing, even if he is into fintech, even is an insurance player, everybody has an opportunity and do business in GIFT. Even you might have seen foreign university. So we also are having international universities in GIFT. 2 Australian universities have opened their international branch campus. I'll not go into detail, but there are a lot of opportunities. Even the accounting of the universities can also be done by the chartered accountants for global universities sitting in GIFT. Now, what is the current status? I think Rajesh ji already mentioned that we already have 690 plus firms in the GIFT City, and these are all which you saw in the previous slide in the brackets. They are into different business verticals, but you have 690 plus firms, and every month 30 plus firms enter the GIFT City zone, and they start doing some new business into fund industry or into aircraft leasing or ship leasing. And you can see the aircraft and the fund management activities has grown very rapidly. In fact, in the aircraft leasing, 2.5 years back, we did not have an aircraft leasing and financing regulation in India. We brought it first time into GIFT City. Now we have 30 firms, 184 assets have been leased into India, and Air India and Indigo, which have announced 1,500 aircraft to be bought in next 10 years, have started leasing their aircraft from GIFT City into India. So that's an opportunity for all of you in this new emerging field also. Almost $70 billion of banking asset size is sitting in GIFT now. And if you ask any of your corporate friends in India that from where you are getting your external commercial borrowing or term loan, out of 10, I think 7 to 8 times you will hear that we are getting a term loan or an external commercial borrowing or a trade finance from GIFT City branches. We have today with us people from ICICI Bank, IBU, International Banking Unit Head. He's with us as a part of the delegation traveling. SDFC IBU in charge has also come with us. So you can interact with them and see what are the opportunities, you know, they can also offer all of you when you are transacting within the ecosystem. And these numbers speak for themselves, because now it's almost in 4 years, these numbers have expanded very rapidly after the IFFC authority got formed there as a unified regulator. But if you see all the major names, whether it is in banks or in the fund industry or in the service providers, they all are present in the part of the ecosystem in the IFFC, and I'm sure many of your clients would also start, you know, opening their funds in GIFT. In the yesterday evening, Rajesh Ji was present. There are a lot of discussion on funds. In fact, many of them are saying that we want to set up the fund in GIFT, which will invest into India. And many institutions we met in last 4 days, some of the big financial institutions in Doha, Abu Dhabi and Dubai. Believe me friends, in next 6 months when we come, you will have one column only for the UAE institutions coming in, and some of your big names. They all will be present, and Abu Dhabi Investment Authority is already as a sovereign fund present in GIFT, investing from GIFT into India. I think in terms of business verticals, the funds industry has grown very rapidly. So if your clients are in fund, you can actually look at this industry. This is a very rapidly expanding industry. But here, let me tell you a biggest advantage for you as an NRI. In July 2023, Government of India gave us a mutual fund and an ETF tax regime. Now, what does it mean? It means that if you are sitting in UAE and you want to invest into India, you can invest into a mutual fund in GIFT, which in turn invest into a mutual fund in India. The entire transaction which the mutual fund does is tax free. No short term, no long term, no tax on that transaction. So that money which goes to a mutual fund, which you take back, goes to GIFT City, which comes back here, and here also you have no tax. So virtually entire investment into GIFT, there is no short term, no long term. And so next 6 months or so, you will see a huge pillar coming up for the NRI funds in GIFT. And I am sure, maybe not from a business perspective, but from your own personal wealth perspective also, probably somewhere you will be touching GIFT City as we move forward. And it may not be us coming because we are a facilitator, but you will see more of the GIFT City institutions coming to all of you to explain about the investment opportunities that they have to offer all of you. And we are already seeing, as I said, large ecosystem of funds into GIFT. We already have the names like Mirai Assets, SDFC. They all run big funds in GIFT, and you can use these mutual funds. You know, as we move forward, more and more mutual funds. In fact, SBI and others are also launching large mutual funds into GIFT. Global In-House Center Chairman already spoke. I think this is one of the biggest opportunity for most of the international institutions. If you ask them today, out of 10 institutions, at least 9 institutions will tell you that I have a back-end operations in India. And sometimes their largest number of employees are not in their headquarters, actually sitting in India. And this is true for most of the financial institution players. That huge number of people are sitting in GCCs in India. GIFT also, we have allowed the Global In-House Center, which is nothing but the Global Capability Center, where you can outsource your entire financial services back-end operations. And this also is qualifying for 10-year tax holiday on the business profits that you earn. So this is a very easy way of telling your clients that, look, you are looking at back-end operations, probably GIFT can be an answer. Bank of America runs 2,400 people Global In-House Center in GIFT as we speak. And there are many who are setting up their in-house centers. I'm not going much in detail on each one of them, but the incentives for GCCs, as I said, direct, indirect tax benefit, no GST on business profits, no tax, IT enabled policy, they are eligible for the state government incentives. And then there are several other incentives like no stamp duty and exemption under the Companies Act. So all this put together, the GCC or the Global Capabilities Center or the Global In-House Center is a very important enabler. Talent, I think we are the largest supplier of talent from India to the world. 800,000 students every year go to foreign universities. And you can imagine out of them, the talent which is grown in India on a platter goes to the other financial centers and starts serving from those centers. So this talent is one which is emerging as the biggest opportunity, and we have seen so many universities, talent available in India can be housed for all of you into the GIFT ecosystem as you are developing. We already have Deakin and Wollongong, two Australian universities. IIFT has a branch in GIFT now, and GIFT is just in the 5-kilometer radius of a knowledge hub. So IIT Gandhinagar is 3 kilometers, Nirma University, Petroleum University, IIT Dhirubhai Ambani, IT College, everything in the surrounding. So you can easily source the talent for your financial and IT services back-end operations. I think this is what we started. India to become the accountants of the world, the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister, which we are trying to implement at GIFT through this regulation called Bookkeeping, Accounting, Taxation and Financial Crime Compliance Services. And I'm sure you will use this because ICI with 400,000 members and 700,000 students, I always tell the president of ICI that you are almost like an Indian army, which is equivalent to 11 lakh. And your student and your professionals put together is 11 lakh. So this is a brilliant talent pool that you have, which can actually be looking at the GIFT City as an emerging opportunity for their career. What we have done, we have made it very simple. If the regulation, if you read of bookkeeping, accounting, you will find a simple piece of regulation with no confusion. You don't need to appoint any consultant, which is a big plus for the businesses and the and professionals, that you can yourself just read and simply start applying. That type of a simple regulation is placed. Obviously, we have put some rail guards so that there is no spillover of domestic business into GIFT. But otherwise, if you see the definitions, I think all are very simple definition of the businesses that you are doing. What we have done is that we have allowed a company and an LLP structure. We debated heavily on a branch structure, but that was not finally decided, that we will not allow branch, because the biggest problem for a branch could be that the spillover could be very fast. So when you come into GIFT for bookkeeping, accounting, taxation and financial crime, you have to either create a company or an LLP. And that is an easy, like a 1 day, 2 day type of time spent, you are able to now form the companies in India. So you can form company or LLP. You have to appoint a principal officer or a compliance officer. Principal officer can be any chartered accountant with 5 years plus experience. Compliance officer with a similar type of a background and experience. You can have a reallocation of your workforce from India, but up to 20% of your total workforce. So if you have 1,000 people working in India, maximum 200 from India domestic zone can come as initially to set up that practice. And then you can deal outsourcing work you can do in any 15 currency with any markets that you want to serve. INR can be there for your routine salary and administrative expenses. So your salary will be, your administrative expenses will be rupee, your earning will be dollar. And anyway, it's an India cost. So all three put together is a great advantage. Your balance sheet will be in a foreign currency. That is very simple reporting. In fact, we have given it to the chartered accountants only to certify that you have complied with all the requirements of the regulation. And BATF services can be provided to any non-resident client. And this was the reason why we had to declare this as a financial services, because otherwise we had to limit your clientele only to BFSI segment. Now, having included accounting as a financial services, you can serve a departmental store, a pharma company or a textile company also sitting in GIFT for their accounting outsourcing. And even the corporates themselves can open their accounting department as a separate vertical within GIFT. So you can even advise corporates to open their back-end operations here. We have a fintech and a tech fin, but I don't want, I think the time is already, past, so I'll leave the presentations with all of you, but I'll request that, nothing is better than seeing is believing. Come, visit, probably speak to the institutions operating there, and then figure out, how the GIFT can be probably one of the important avenue for you to expand into new areas. As a regulator, as our chairman said, we are a startup regulator, but up to how long we will remain startup? So before we become a hardcore regulator, I think this is a soft regulator right now. You should interact, take the maximum facilitation from the regulator, because at this stage, we want to facilitate most of the institutions who wants to set up in a GIFT City in a bigger way. So all of you are welcome, and look forward to having your larger presence in GIFT City. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Can we get one mic for Dipesh here, or maybe you can? So we'll have some questions from the audience. So please raise your hand, and Dipesh, you can.
Our first question from Urvik.
Yep.
This is going to be a very challenging task now, because they would have all the answers and I have to give them, they will ask me the question. Yes,
I first of all, thank you, Mr. Dipesh. I think a comprehensive, view of the ecosystem of GIFT, as well as a snapshot, ironically, I would say, good amount of information. So my question is more about the governing framework around, the benefits that can be made available to employees working in GIFT. More from a perspective of, let's say, companies who are serving foreign intermediaries, right? As you said, who can enjoy benefits on tax, etc. Right? Now, naturally, to attract and retain talent, which is one of the goals of the company. Some of the companies may think of passing on the benefits to the employees, right? If they are enjoying tax, etc. So, is there anything specific with respect to employees earning salaries and concessions on that, especially if they're working in companies who are, completely providing services to foreign entities and earning in foreign exchange?
Okay, so I'm sure if you unfold the question, the question is, कंपनी को तो आपने 100% टैक्स एग्जेम्पशन दे दिया है, एम्प्लॉय के लिए क्या है, कितना टैक्स बेनिफिट्स है, दिस इज द स्ट्रेट क्वेश्चन. So that is, individual के लिए there is no tax benefit, but the advantage for individual is as follows. One, probably in Gujarat where this financial center is coming up, one, the cost of living is very, very competitive. So believe me, at an early age, I have seen in GIFT, even at the level of assistant manager and a manager, people are able to afford housing at the initial starting salary itself. And that is a big plus that, in the initial days, people are at the young age, the cost of living is very, very competitive. So you should see from that perspective. And second, I think the advantage of GIFT is because the whole ecosystem is evolving so fast that one has a multiple opportunities, whether you want to go in banking, insurance, capital market, funds, the whole ecosystem is there. So you have multiple opportunity at one place. But the answer to your question is there is no tax incentives for individuals, it is for the company.
Next question.
Hi, Dipesh bhai. This is Vimal. I'm actually working with one of the largest insurance company in UAE. My question that we have not seen much penetration in the insurance sector. I'm regularly following the AIDA regulation, everything. I think now they have published I think they're trying to motivate the foreign international insurance provider in the GIFT City. I think CBR, like cross-border reinsurers, I think some proposal that they cannot take 90% of the premium till the service is over. So it's a kind of a policy to attract the foreign insurer to set up in India. So I just want to know more about the GIFT City's progress on the insurance related industry? Yeah.
Okay, no, it's a valid observation that in the initial days the insurance was not picked up, but now if you see as on date, we have 29 insurance firms, almost 10 to 12 insurance companies, and then the rest of the insurance intermediaries present, including Alliance Reinsurance from France now present, GIC New India, and even players like ICICI, Lombard, and then Tata's, and several SDFC Life. In fact, SDFC Life Re, which is in Dubai as a wholly owned subsidiary, they have set up a branch in GIFT. And during our visit in last 4 days, I can tell you at least 2 to 3 UAE-based large insurance firms are very, very advanced stage of evaluating opportunity in GIFT and probably to set up in GIFT. So you will see now the regulatory challenge were being resolved, and one important enabler which the government as India has brought in is, if you are a cross-border insurer and writing from outside India, then you have to have a collateral which you need to place with the domestic regulator. If the same cross-border insurer set up in GIFT, then there is no collateral requirement. So this is now going to change the equation of cross-border, because the cost will go up for them if they write it from outside. If they come to GIFT, the cost of writing will go down. And we expect under this mechanism, many cross-border insurers will actually now shift into GIFT as we move forward. But your observation is correct.
Next question, please.
Sorry.
Okay.
Then it will be my opportunity to discuss whenever in the. I think we have discussed like 4 years back with Sandeep Bhai. Sorry, Rishi Bhai. Actually, I tried to bring GIFT City.
Please continue, sir. No issues.
I tried to bring GIFT City presentation 4 years before to the ICIA. I think now you will recognize me with Sandeep Bhai and I think Rishi Bhai. Maybe it will be an opportunity because see, I'm working with Oman Insurance. So we have opened an office so we are the first company in GCC to have a license from the syndicate like Lords of London. Because of this regulation, which will probably come in 2025 for the CBR 90% collateral, I think there are high level thought in the management to set up an unit in GIFT City as well. Maybe I will connect with you offline and we can explore and maybe introduce the senior management.
Most welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, please.
First of all, thank you very much for the comprehensive presentation. Sir, very simple question. I think the purpose of GIFT City is to attract global talent, some of the global talent back in India, right? So is there any specific framework, like, global talent looking for an opportunity, like young chartered accountants or maybe even experience, like instead of just, looking for the firms or, companies or, I mean, I'm just looking for some gateway where anybody and everybody can just understand what are the opportunities available, how can one be prepared, how the transition can take place, a bit of simpler or smoother way of understanding, and then shifting back is not that easy. So everybody wants a safe, like landing or smooth landing. So
yes,
how does actually one pursue this or look at it, if you can simplify that?
I wish I can simplify.
Okay.
But it is always an individual's dilemma as to what to choose from. But how the GIFT can probably support in this is because it's a concentrated location. At one place, so many institutions coming in. So it's not that you are looking whole of India where the opportunities are. In fact, you just study the GIFT City model closely. Our website of the IFFCA, the GIFT City company website, if you study, you will come to know the entire directory has a list of the companies present in GIFT. So on our IFFCA, there's a directory. If you go inside, you will have the list of all the companies present along with the name of the heads of their phone numbers, everything is there in the. So it's a easy access. But to your point, what we have done, we have told ICAI that if they can create one sort of a portal where the companies can put in the requirements, because today the maximum call which I get as a regulator, and I'm telling you in front of all of you, is that out of 10, 5 calls are obviously the one for bank or insurance or which you don't want. And then 5 calls are, sir, we are seriously looking for principal officer. Can you please help me to get a principal officer? Sir, we are looking for compliance officer. And I sometimes feel that being Gujarati, I should now start my own HR consultancy firm instead of being in the regulator. But
Sir,
this
sir,
is,
if you are looking for somebody, a coordinator or somebody, for that, I would be the first person looking for that opportunity. Yeah,
that's why I say they are so entrepreneur.
No, I mean, I would like to really shift my bases if something is readily available, honestly. Yeah, I'm really serious. And I know, like me, there are many people who are serious, and on behalf of them only, I'm trying to ask this very straightforward question, because I know in my circle, there are people who are really looking to shift, but they are like, okay, what exactly will happen? Will we stabilize in 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, 1 year? So it's actually that question. And if there is a specific answer to that, like within 6 months, this is how it will end up being, I think you'll see a large, sum of people, looking for this, honestly.
I think your president and vice president,
Say, anybody want to shift out from outside India to India, I think there cannot be a better opportunity than the gift city where located. What you need, the good livings, well-connected airlines, trains, and international airport. Education, they already provided their international schools, hospitals, etc. in the same city. I should say in Ahmedabad, you enjoy the all benefits of metro city, but no nuisance of the metro city, because it is such a vast area and well connected. All the big malls are there, all the big brands are there. Living standard is very comparable with the foreign cities, if not better, but at least comparable. So if anybody is planning to shift India, I think soft landing can be in Ahmedabad or Gift City.
great. This should be the headline tomorrow morning.
Next question, please. Next question, Amit. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. My question is regarding the higher education. Here, sir.
Please. Yeah. Amit is with you. That's why I said just Amit. Yeah, next question. Please, yes, sir. Continue.
My question is, should I sit or stand? That's okay. My question is regarding the higher education. You mentioned that there are 2 universities at present. One is Deakin and one is University of Wollongong. I think both Australian, which is coming. Now, let's say we get an exclusive right of the few of the US universities from US, and we tell that we are one of the agents. Would we get the benefit? Let's say we take a licenseship as an individual to operate, plus along with that, Skill Development Council for the students of India. That is the people who are looking out for a skill development. Can we combine this university plus skill development? So would we get benefits for both, or it is only for the university for the land which the government is gifting as a lease, and then you are 10 years, probably the tax advantage we get?
Yeah, I think good that you brought this out, because I could not cover in the slide. For the foreign university, what you said, the opportunity is as follows, that you can become an academic infrastructure service provider in GIFT. So we have a guidelines where an academic infrastructure service provider can set up the entire campus of the foreign university. Say for example, you are tied up with an ex-US university, and you said, I have already got the license as an AISP. Then the university can come and do the teaching. Rest everything will be done by you. Recruitment, accounting, everything is done by you. They only come and teaching. Teaching cannot be outsourced to you or to any third party. That's the hardcore function of the university which they have to perform. So that's the opportunity you already have. As an agent, student recruitment agent, which is like a business arrangement of the university with you, for which we don't authorize or give you license as an agent. It's the university which will appoint you for student recruitment X or Y, whatever the business arrangement between you and them have. And third, on the upskilling, what we have done is there is a category called, while international branch campus is for the foreign university, where these 2 Australian universities have come. By the way, 2 UK universities already applied as I speak. And by the end of this month, you will see 2 UK university also been housed in GIFT, and they will start in the next February or July academic year, their university also. We have a category called Overseas Education Center, OEC. Now, Overseas Education Center is for upskilling. For example, I want to do a skill development program on AI. I may not have a degree program, but I can go for 15 days training and that certification OEC can give me, and they can also be housed in GIFT with a tax exemption that you saw. Out of 15, 10 years, no tax.
Right. Thank you.
Thank
Next
you.
question. Last two questions, please.
I go?
Anybody?
यहाँ पे
Oh,
भाई,
okay.
इधर,
अरे,
इधर.
Vice
Thank you very
Chairman is
much.
there. Big
सबसे
one.
पहले thank you Dipesh ji. Lovely session. I am loving the new India. Why I am saying is because now I see regulators coming out and doing presentations outside India. 3 months back, I attended something from Reserve Bank of India. The authorities were here and they presented on UAE INR currency, AED INR. Today I see GIFT City authority is coming. So regulators coming is something which is talking about the new rising India, which is there always. My question to you, एक चीज जो आप I heard in the previous presentations and then you also said, आइए हमारे गुजरात में, I mean I come to GIFT City. Is there anything like where if I want to bring a tour of chartered accountants there, you have something where you can arrange something for us there where all the chartered accountants who are ready to invest or the investors can come in together, look at the facility, understand what exactly it is and come back, something like that. When you say आइए and explore yourself, see from your eyes, you have something like that for a group if I want to bring it.
So between you and President, both of you can decide a date with the delegation. We at the IFFCA, along with the GIFT company, which is the master developer of the city, just like you have DIFC and DFSA, we have a combination there. So between both of us, we would be very happy to host all of you. And there is a club with 100 rooms, hotel with 150 rooms inside GIFT City, and very good banqueting, conferencing facilities. So we can spend like half a day in different sessions where, say, someone from bank can come and speak to all of you, someone from insurance company can speak to all of you, someone from funds, like we said, mutual fund, how can you invest as an NRI into GIFT. So that technical sessions also can be run by the practitioners, and you may find it very useful because the actual institutions who are going to onboard you will give you all the details, and then they can solve, answer all your queries. So we'll be very happy if we do this. A lot of delegation come to us, and we always facilitate that.
Thank you. We'll do something like that.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Dipesha, thank you for actually less technical a question. It's quite a technical presentation, a lot of details. I just wanted to share a massive thank you to you and the entire team at GIFT. I'd really appreciate if we could give them a round of applause for bringing this. I've been following the GIFT journey for over a decade and seeing you passionately go around the whole world telling that story. My family has been from Fiji, then to London, born out of India in 3 generations. And I've now taken a home in GIFT City because I believe in what you're all building there. So I believe it's absolutely incredible. And I would like to, on a personal capacity, us as NRIs, what's your message to the individual about GIFT?
I think my message is that we should be proud about what India is doing right now and what India's growth story is for next 25 years. I think taking that pride and also coming forward with your expertise into projects like GIFT and others, that will benefit India further, because you have been in various parts of the world and you have seen the world from a different lens. And now it's a new India. The last thing, probably the one thing that we should keep in mind is, because whenever we go for international roundtables and this, the first thing, sir, we find it very difficult to answer. The first question which comes to us in many forums would be by an NRI, and he will be cursing about his 5-10-year-old story, which he narrates in the crowd of 500 people. And after making a presentation of New India, you are taken back of 10-year-old journey with a 10-year-old problem which was not solved by XYZ, in tax authorities or this. But my request to all of you is that if we all become an ambassadors of India, as you are, I think the new India, which is like emerging through GIFT and others, can have a tremendous impact on the investments and the way that we are seeing India growing. So we need your support from that perspective, that believe in this story and help others to understand this better. Rather than telling them about the problems of India, tell them about the solutions of India, as you are experts in that.
Very nice. Last question.
So it's more than a question. I would like to share the experience as, and I'm sure most of you know, as your past chairman, Pankaj here. We are just in process of getting our license of finance company next week from mostly from IFIC. I just want to share my experience that I was there last year in July and Dr. Deepesh making presentation to the FCI conference. Until that, we made a plan to get up our license with either with DFSA or MAS or HKMA Hong Kong. And after interacting with them, meeting the whole GIFT City and IFIC team, we got so excited to change our plan to move from our license from DFSA to IFIC, and we progressed well. We already have office in Brigade, and we're in process of going live, a global NBFC finance company license. But let me just share you the experience. We talked about the visiting GIFT City. I was there for our ICA annual conference led by Aniket Talati ji. And on Saturday, we were chapter 19, chairman of 19 chapters talking we should visit the GIFT because the conference was in Gandhinagar. I spoke to Sandeep Shah, the head of GIFT City, and Shekhar, the GIFT City team on Saturday evening in 6:30. And Sunday morning, there was a bus came from GIFT City to pick up all of us from Gandhinagar to take to the full trip of GIFT City. So this is, you're talking of a regulator where last minute notice and they send the bus to take all the chairman of all our ICA chapter to the GIFT City. So you must, and we're talking about the opportunity, job and all, what do you need to go and visit GIFT City? Maybe you go and do a holiday over there and meet all the companies which we've been talking about. There are 32 banks now, India and foreign banks. So you can go and interact. The opportunity, the first what we spoken about, while he may not want to start the HR consulting, you can start the HR consulting and job for everyone will be there, right? So I think that's the opportunity. But we've been very happy. I tell you with my experience with the regulator here in the other countries and being interacting with IFSC for last 1 year, it has been a fantastic experience so far. So we thank you so much for this. We have a live example. I can speak to you offline what was our experience so far. But there is definitely a great opportunity. But the seeing is the believing. You must plan your maybe the winter holidays and maybe next summer and visit GIFT City. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you so much, Pankaj, and thank you so much, Deepesh. That comes to end of session.
Last question from my
Okay,
side.
okay.
See, as we speak now, the Bitcoin has reached $91,000. So do you see anything like any crypto exchange coming to GIFT City, any application came? What is the outlook you see that? Because I see the big data, biometrics, quantum technology, Web3. So where do you see that the crypto exchange coming to India, especially in the GIFT City?
We went to Vara today morning. We had a session with your virtual asset regulator here in Dubai. See, our view has been the real world assets, which have underlying assets, for which we are working on the token models and others. But where there is no underlying, probably the government of India and also us as a new regulator, we don't are prepared to get into that speculations at this stage, because you're building a new financial center. You want to make it, build it with a good reputation. You don't want to first bring a product which collapse and then the whole regulator goes along with it. So you want to be very strong in building the foundation. So right now it's a foundation years where the underlying assets, real estate tokens, is what we are working right now.
All right, thank you. So with that, we come to end of session, but Himanshu has to say he has a book to share with us. But Himanshu, can you please come on the stage and tell us about it?
I generally, so I think vote of thanks may be planned to be given by somebody else, but I want to take this opportunity to give a vote of thanks. It may be out of the schedule, but I think ICI has been not just the Dubai chapter. The ICI India has been a very important support for IFSCA, and I think this was discussed. We have an MOU, and ICI, the earlier president Aniket Talati ji, now the Ranjit ji, even now we have a working committee which is chaired by the president ICI, and the discussion we had today on the BATF. So the BATF committee which we formed was co-chaired by both present and the and the past president of ICI. And coming to the Dubai side, I think I have been in touch with Rajesh ji for a very long time. Earlier we were planning this in August, and now we were scheduled to do this on 15th when Manoharan sir was supposed to come, but because of the government protocols we had to do this today. and the kind of response we have got from ICI and the kind of turnaround on a working day that we have seen. I'm really thankful to the ICI of Dubai and especially the whole team, which is headed by Rajesh Somani ji. And see, we are discussing, I think, for last 2 hours, India at 2047. So there is a very important book on India at 100, that is 2047. So I request Dr. Deepesh Shah, he's my boss, to give this book to the chairman, Mr. Rajesh Somani ji, and Vice Chairman, Mr. Jay Prakash ji. Please come on the stage.
I must say that Himanshu was such a persistent follower for the visit as well as the event, and because of this we could able to get it done. And thank you very much for taking the lead and also giving this opportunity to our members for connecting with the Gift City, and I think it will get a long way to associate with you. Please.
Please all excom join for the picture. Of course, we have to present one memento on behalf of all of us to Deepesh ji. Give him a big round of applause. He has really taken us through the journey of Gift City. Thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. Now we come to end of the session, and I'd like to request Balram for vote of thanks.
Thank you all for taking out your time on working day. It was a great evening, I know, and personally for me, it was a great learning of knowing about Gift City. Being in India and doing business from India and getting all the benefits of being outside India in terms of taxation and compliances is a great opportunity. And for especially chartered accountants, it is even a more greater opportunity to establish your own practices there and get benefit of the benefits given to the firms. So the events like this are not possible without the support of our sponsors. So we thank our sponsors and our title sponsor being BMW Developments. We thank our principal sponsors Tally, Lulu, IFCO, Motilal Oswal, Ola Magri. Platinum sponsors EHY James, HSBC, National Bonds, ECAG Group, HLB Hamd. And our media partner, Kali's Times, travel partners, Zeronas Travels, valuation partners, Windmills, and institutional partners, Delhi Private School, and banking partners, Bank of Baroda. We thank you all once again for being here, and we have the IT and snacks served outside. Thank you all. Good night.